Hello students, it's Shayna, your teacher from espressoenglish.net, and the phrasal verb of the day is make up for. A student asked about this phrasal verb in the comments from yesterday's lesson, so I'm going to teach it to you today. If you're curious about phrasal verbs and you want to learn more, and especially if you want to learn how to use them in your own English, then make sure to check out my course called Phrasal Verbs in Conversation. You can click on the link in this video or in the video description for more information and to sign up. So let's learn make up for. I'm going to give you an example of this phrasal verb in action, and I want you to decide which one of these options is the correct meaning, the correct definition for make up for. Yesterday, we had a really big snowstorm where I live. A lot of snow fell, about 11 or 12 inches of snow. And school was canceled. The local schools were closed because it was impossible to drive on the roads with so much snow. When the schools are canceled because of snow, we call this a snow day. And I remember that when I was a kid, I loved snow days because, of course, it was fun to stay home from school and play in the snow, drink hot chocolate. The only problem was that sometimes if we had a lot of snow days during the winter, at the end of the school year in the spring, they would add some extra days of school to make up for the snow days. Okay? So based on this example, adding extra days of school onto the end of the year to make up for the canceled snow days earlier in the year, what does it mean to make up for something? Does it mean to take action? Does it mean to increase? Or does it mean to compensate? You can post your guess about the right answer in the comments, and I'll tell you if you're correct in just a minute. What do you think? The correct definition of make up for is C, to compensate. So in this example, we lost some school days because of the snow days, and then they added some extra days to make up for, to compensate for the loss of those days during the winter. So we often use make up for when compensating for a loss, as in this example. Another good example is when a flight is delayed taking off from the airport. Let's say it's delayed 30 minutes. Sometimes after takeoff, the pilots can actually fly the plane even faster than usual to make up for the lost time. So they lost some time back at the airport, and now they can fly a little bit faster to make up for the lost time, to compensate for it, and try to arrive at the destination on time. Another example or another situation where you might use make up for is if you have a husband and wife, and let's say the husband forgets the wife's birthday and doesn't do anything to celebrate. And as a result, the wife is angry, she's disappointed, she's sad. Well, then maybe the husband should take her out to a really nice restaurant or take her on a very romantic trip to make up for forgetting her birthday. Okay, so forgetting her birthday caused a loss in the relationship, a loss of happiness, a loss of trust, and then hopefully the husband can make up for his mistake, can compensate for his mistake by doing something special for his wife. A related phrase to this is you might have heard the question, how can I make it up to you? Or the promise, I'll make it up to you. And this is also asking about compensation, and we usually ask this or promise this when we have made a mistake and caused some loss or caused some damage to someone, and we want to know how to compensate that person. So let's say you're at someone's house and you accidentally knock over a piece of artwork and it falls to the ground and it breaks. You might then say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. How can I make it up to you?" So maybe you offer to pay a price for replacing the artwork, or maybe you buy the person another piece of artwork or a replacement of that same piece. When you ask, how can I make it up to you, you're inquiring, how can I do something to compensate for this loss? Or you might phrase it as a promise, I'll make it up to you. For example, let's say you promise to let's say you had promised to help your friend move out of his apartment, and then on the day of the move, something else came up. Remember from the last lesson, if something comes up, it means it appears unexpectedly. Something came up and you weren't able to go help your friend. So your friend had to do the whole move by himself. You might then talk to your friend and say, I'm so sorry I couldn't come and help with the move. I'll make it up to you by helping you paint your new apartment. So you're promising, when you say, I'll make it up to you, you're promising to compensate for that previous mistake by doing something to hopefully equal it out, or doing something extra to compensate for that loss or for that problem. So let's see if you can use make up for in a sentence. Post a comment with your sentence using the phrasal verb make up for to mean compensate for something. Compensate for a loss, compensate for damage, compensate for a mistake. I'd love to read your sentences. It's very important to put these phrasal verbs into practice. Again, if you'd like to join me in my phrasal verbs and conversation course, there are 30 great lessons in there, which in total will teach you more than 500 phrasal verbs. Click on the link in the video or in the description for more information. I hope to see you inside the course, and I hope you'll join me for tomorrow's daily phrasal verb lesson. Bye-bye.